I'm really excited about being in this place. I'm Charles Makmot, and I am one of the directors of Strategic Leadership Forum. When we, at some point, as the fellowships are going on, we felt as a leadership that it's important to record and keep, a record of some of these deliberations, and we have acquired a digital video recorder which will, take these proceedings for posterity's sake. And also, if you're like some people, like Ronald Mukasa, he prefers, to listen than to read. It's easier for him to listen. So you can, put this on and listen to what Charles was saying, what whoever was saying, and be blessed. I want to start by saying that I'm really excited about being in this place. And not because of anything, just because I came. There's one thing about consistency and doing things with regularity, in that it builds momentum. I came here, I was alone where I was, looking at the newspaper, reading about SLF, reading about all these things happening in Uganda. At some point you can feel like, what can I do as an individual? But I came here and I met a man who was so excited. Some of you came a bit late. You missed some of these moments. And he just stirred up. It just triggered something in me, and I got more and more excited. And I feel this is one of the purposes of these fellowships, to reignite us and send us out into the world, to be charged up and to take on these challenges that the world faces with a Christian backbone. I will share briefly about Strategic Leadership Forum. It is one of our policies at these functions, or any function we have, to share the vision. Whether you've been here over and over, I've had this vision several times, I've shared it several times, but I believe it's important that we do share it over and over again. Strategic Leadership Forum began humbly in 2004, November. It began because of circumstances. At that time, if you may recall, it was a time when PTCs and NTCs had been closed and the government said there wasn't any money. At that time, personally, I was a leader in an institution. I got concerned about it, but I really did not give it much. I didn't put my mind to it and my effort into, finding a solution to this. Thank God there were people who did. Now, at that time, our coordinator here, Michael, was so much involved in school ministry, and he is still involved in school ministry. And he was burdened by this and said, this is really one of our catchment areas, the places we do ministry. Because if you have a born-again teacher, he's going to pass on these values. And I recall even my own teachers, one of my teachers, who is now a pastor, used to, every lesson, at least 5 minutes before he walks out, would speak about God, speak about Jesus. And it sowed the seed. I didn't get saved then, but later on, that was in S6, but in my first year, I gave my life to Christ. So I believe he sowed the seed. I would ponder over what he has said after the lesson. And so he was concerned about this. So he went to the guild president. My counterpart then was in Makerere, and talked to him and said, we need to do something about this. Why don't we organize a demonstration, mobilize students, because these are students like you, with solidarity with them, and say, we are concerned about this, go to Parliament. So he started the process of beginning to mobilize student leaders, to mobilize their students under them. Unfortunately, at that time, there was a strike at Makerere. And the result are those harms on Sapolo Kagwa Road. But the student was knocked there, and there was a riot, and of course the president's attention went to that naturally, because that was his constituency. But the seed had been sown. So after more and more discussions, after of course the crisis had quelled, more discussions held, and there was a general consensus that we need to come up with a platform for Christian views to be heard. And the vision began to bubble. And in February 2005, I was invited, along with several other leaders, to Namirembe Resource Center. Popularly we call it NAREC. And that was when personally I first heard about the vision, and I was very excited, extremely excited. And ever since then, I have been excited about this vision. And what is the vision? The vision is to see a God-transformed leadership, transforming lives, communities, institutions, and nations, and leading them to self-actualization. Now, I can delve into the vision for several hours, but the most important thing is to build a God-transformed leadership. And from the onset, we realized that to achieve this, we needed to be an organization or a platform or a forum that is above politics. And we said we will welcome all Christians. It doesn't matter from where you are, which party you belong to. You come, be part of SLF. We will together share godly values like excellence, godly values like patriotism, integrity, service, accountability, responsibility for your actions, humility. These are the values that we want to share. So we believe that wherever you are, whether you're in NRM, whether you're in DP, you will speak with these values. And these values will transform the values of your party, of your organization, of your leadership, wherever that you will be. And so what will bind us together, first of all, is Christ. All of us knowing Christ. And then two, the desire to change our nation. And so the vision has kept growing. We realized that it was important to also raise leaders. So we have been empowering leaders all over. One of the fruits of our efforts is Joseph here, and several others like Rona. People that have come to SLF and have said, you can be a leader. They ask us for tips because we have also been leaders, how to go about things. They have gotten our support materially, which has not been much really, because we're still, building capacity. But spiritually and morally, even physically, we have been there for many leaders. And we always, organize consultative meetings on these campuses so that leaders emerge. They run for office. Christian leaders emerge. They run for office, and in that process, we're creating a pool, a resource pool of leaders, people that have tried leadership and know what it takes to be a leader and are being groomed for the future. That's what we see. So we're involved in campuses in Makere, Moobs, Chambogo, UCU, Mukono. We recently broke ground in Gulu University. We're also thinking of spreading to these other universities like KIU and all the rest, Mbarara University. So we are building capacity to reach there. We are organizing a leadership summits, apart from the consultative meetings that have been going on, leadership summit, to teach people about leadership, to bring leadership from the right perspective. We also believe that leadership is what we need in Africa. That's the challenge that Africa has. And we believe that we will raise leaders like Joseph, leaders that are visionary, leaders that are for such a time as this, leaders like Esther and Mordecai, people that will stand up and speak, stand up and take action when required for the season. Leaders like Joseph, leaders like Daniel. These are the ones that we want to raise here. Now, we started with the leadership of our coordinator to have monthly fellowships. We believe that it was important that as we build capacity, as we raise leaders, we need also to have information. We need to be educated about what's happening in our nation, what's happening in our continent, what's happening in the world. And so we periodically meet as a leadership and come up with topics. And with time, we'll also request as many people as possible to come up with topics which we feel are pertinent to what is happening in Uganda. We have discussed the education system in Uganda and come up with tangible resolutions. We looked at the food crisis in the world and looked at what we can do. I must give a testimony at this point. You'll allow me just a few more minutes. I was stirred up by that, and recently when I got my leave, actually I went up country, and one of the things I was very much interested in was in seeing what is going on and in challenging my fellow people to begin to take up this opportunity that has come to us. If food prices are going up, who is going to get richer? Primarily it is the farmer. But I realized that it is critical also that we protect these farmers from exploiters. I went to the village. My village is in Apache, and when I was younger, you'd go and you'd find chicken running around everywhere. In fact, when you would go, it was a common practice for someone, if they were happy to see you and taken long without seeing you, like person I hadn't been there in some time, they slaughter you a chicken. But no, chicken were not there. And you know what they told me? They're all in Juba. These people come here, they don't negotiate. You tell a guy the chicken is 20,000 shillings, he pulls money and pays, even if the actual price is 6,000. Pays. So people are selling off their chicken, people are selling off their food, people come with truckloads on market days and pick food. So I was challenging them, and they said, you know what we need to do is to plant food. You have land that is idle. Make sure that you get people who can plant food. And one thing that I promise to do is to get some of my savings and to invest in some of these farmers. With time, I believe they will grow. And that's just me, but I don't know how if we all came together we could do something. This is something which I picked from me, and that was a presentation by Joseph on the food crisis. And this, I believe, is something that we can build on as leaders. I didn't have that information, I got it. And this is what this forum intends to do with these meetings. So when you come here, as Michael said, and I will end with this, don't be deceived by numbers. We have had bigger numbers as this, we have had even smaller numbers. The numbers keep fluctuating, but one thing you should know, and one thing that I want us to ingrain in ourselves, is that every first Saturday of the month, between 5 and 7, we will be here discussing very pertinent issues of this nation. Now, these fellowships will not be like ordinary fellowships that you attend, because they are to build leaders. They are to focus on leadership. We are Christians, but we come with a hefty package of information to build us up, to build upon the Christian foundation we have. We believe that the Christian foundation is built and is sustained by several other leaders, pastors that we have. That is their calling, and we bless them and they continue to do that. But here, it's about leadership. I wanted to clarify that because there's one person one time who came here and said, I thought this was a fellowship, so they're going to have praise and worship, then reading from the Bible, someone to preach, and said, but here I see you guys are talking about politics. What's going on? So I need to clarify that for those that are new, that it's a fellowship, yes, because we are Christian, but we discuss serious, pertinent issues that concern our nation. Christian leaders,
the hope for this nation.
Christian leaders,
the hope for this nation.
Thank you, and may the Lord bless you so much.